that's my thing, man. It's just like you just, especially the silence. You just come in, just
yeah.
It's almost like Tourette's. Just
yeah. Something about that silence, man. So part of the music experience and really enjoying music. Something about silence in there.
Yeah.
Really gives you that feel.
There's beat in the silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually there's no beat without it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, howdy, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up?
I'm here with Divinity Roxx. I'm at Guitcon. And if you don't know her, click the link in the description. Follow her. All the links will be there. So I just wanted to take a second. One, play some funky stuff with you. Two, tell me what you're up to. Tell my people that may not know you who you are, what you do, why you do it.
Oh, wow. I'm Divinity Roxx. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man.
But you don't still live there, right?
No, I don't live there anymore.
Gotcha.
I live in New Jersey now, close to New York. But I'm a bass player. I'm an MC, so I rap and play bass and perform. I'm an artist. I write. I produce.
Non-stop.
Non-stop, man.
Yeah.
I just love creativity and being able to express emotions and point of views through music. I just think music is so powerful.
Yeah.
And like everybody who plays music, you fell in love with it at such a young age.
Yeah.
You know, that it was something that you looked up to and you're like, man, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to make people feel something by writing and performing. So it's kind of how I got into it. I started rapping when I was 12, and I picked up the bass my sophomore year in college.
Really?
Yeah.
And now when did you start getting paid? When did you start doing professional?
So, it's so funny. My very first gig was with this bass player named Taurus Mateen. Taurus Mateen is an incredible player. And I didn't know anything on bass, but I convinced him to let me jam with him and his brothers. So we jammed, and what he would do is he would show me a bass line. Like we would play something like that because he loved playing them reggae grooves, right?
Dude, don't we all?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I would play that and just sit on that groove, and he would solo all over it. His brother played the drums, his other brother played the saxophone, and he played the bass. So he was looking for a bass player he could mold in his band so that he could solo. So we did a jam, and he was like, cool, you want to do a gig with us? We have a gig every Tuesday.
Yeah.
They were playing at this comedy club.
Yeah.
What they would do before the show, the comedy show, is they would have poets get up. And this was like when poetry was this big thing in Atlanta, and they were having these huge poetry readings, and people would come out, and the band would improvise with the poets.
I've never seen anything like that.
It's really crazy because Taurus was so good at immediately sizing up a poet. As soon as they dropped the first line of their poem, he would come in with a cool bass line. Yeah. Straight off the top of his head, he would show me the line, I'd get it, and then he would do little solo cool stuff on top of it, and his brother would come in with the drums, and his other brother Raji started playing the saxophone, and all of a sudden we have this song, you know, behind this poet. So we would do that all night for like an hour, and after the first show, we sat in the car and we were talking about how cool the show was, and he paid me. I was like, what?
I can get paid for
You
this.
get paid doing this?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah. And don't ever allow people not to pay you. That's what he said.
It's true.
And so that was my first paying gig.
Yeah.
And after that, Taurus moved out of town, and then I became the bass player who was playing at these jams. Yeah. Because I picked up this ability to improvise by listening to whatever the singer or rapper or poet was gonna do. I would just start improvising, like Taurus, like what would Taurus do, you know? Yeah. And so I started playing in local clubs and gigs in Atlanta, and I was playing everywhere. I mean, every single night I was just out playing, and it was all improvisation, really. And that's how I became popular in Atlanta. We used to do these Wednesday nights called, it was an MC battle, Wednesday nights, at Apache Cafe every Wednesday. And I went to Victor Wooten's bass camp. Yeah. And Vic asked me after the camp if I wanted to go on tour with him. I had been playing bass for about, I'd say 3 or 4 years. Yeah. I just loved it so much.
3 or 4 years.
I know.
But it was just in your hand. You couldn't get it out.
I just loved it. You know, when I picked up the bass, I loved it. I didn't know why. It was like something clicked inside of me, and it was all I wanted to do. And just sit at home and play, and just, I don't know. It brought me into being a producer. It introduced me to other types of music that I didn't grow up listening to. So I grew up listening to a lot of R&B, a lot of hip hop, some jazz, but not really. My parents weren't big jazzers. They were funky. You know, they want Confunction. The very first concert I ever went to was you remember Confunction? Listen, the very first concert I ever went to was Rick James at Six Flags. I'm not kidding. I didn't know what he was talking about with Mary Jane and all of that, but I had his little tape in my headphones, and I would walk to the corner store with my 50-cent rolled pennies to go get some candy, and it'd be listening to Rick James. And then the Super Freak, I was like, she's a very kinky girl. I used to be like, what does she look like? Like, who is this? I was trying to see what he was describing, not really getting it, you know, as a kid. So ridiculous.
Oh. One of my favorite things about watching you, so I didn't know who you were before until I got here, right?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I saw you playing, and I was like, she's having a lot of fun, you know? And that's always what draws me to other players, is just, you know, because there's so many people that are really, really strong, but they're kind of like straight-faced. Yeah. And they're just, you know, and like they're great players, and like if you close your eyes and you listen to them, like it's great, you know, everything's good. But I love it when I can tell, like, you hit one note, immediately you're like, you're 12 again. It's like, I'm having fun here, you know? And I just wanted to pay you that compliment because it really it's noticeable that you would really enjoy it.
I do. You know? I really enjoy playing music with other people.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it, you know? It's just liberating. Yeah. So when I get an opportunity to play, I'm gonna have fun. Yeah. Yeah. And
it's one of the few things we get to do in life where you're 100% in the moment. Yeah. And you're not thinking about everything else that is to be you.
True.
You know?
Oh my
and you're literally moment to moment, however long that moment lasts, it moves, but you're in it. Yeah. And when you're in it with other people, keeping the same time, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Exactly. Exactly. That community, everybody's on the same page. Yeah. Everybody's having a good time. You can change the mood in a room, man, just by picking up your instrument and playing, and you just like all the drama that we have to deal with on a regular basis just sort of goes away, disappears.
I agree completely.
Yeah, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour.
Well, on that note, again, guys, click the link in the description. Check her out. Take me out with a different group.
Woo!
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's really a treat to
play with absolutely. You. That was fun.
Yeah. Thanks for getting silly with me.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? It's all about that.
Yeah.